Okay. Time to get this out of the way first. Yes, to get to Bowser as the final boss of Super Princess Peach, you need to get grinding and rescue every Toad in the game. I did that personally because it wasn't a huge deal like grinding for level ups to fight Metal Gear Zeke and Peace Walker, but it is a loss of points that you are forced to do that, Toze, not for extra content mind you, but to get to the end credits. Otherwise, the final boss is a solid effort by Toze. It starts off with Princess Peach fighting the entirety of the Hammer Bro guard that Bowser has guarding himself in the plot device. The main enemy is the angry Hammer Bro, and he attacks mainly by hiding behind his infinite number of Hammer Bro soldiers, just like a true leader. They are just regular soldiers, so you just have to chew through them to get to the main guy. Hit him for 5 damage, and then phase 2 starts where you fight Bowser proper. Bowser's as tough as we've come to expect from him. No pussyfooting just because Princess is his opponent. He gets kitted out with his usual staple of tackle attacks, fire breath and fireballs, along with an occasional hammer throwing from the ceiling, and what you're aiming for in this one-on-one drag-out throwdown is to wait for an opportunity to use Rage Tackle back at Bowser. The windows are kind of odd since you might have to stand there for 3 seconds for the damage to actually connect, so you make sure to keep an eye out on this one. Throughout the fight, mana is found in Bowser statues at the end of the battlefield when Bowser destroys them, which you can get by jumping on top of and over Bowser. Once the damage gets rolling, however, Bowser still doesn't sit on his haunches. He'll power himself up with his own batch of feeling powers. His Joy ability has him spamming his Butt Slam ability, which is an easier one to avoid. His Gloom ability is tossing giant hammers down from space, which gets a bit trickier. Then there's his Rage ability, which has him just spamming his regular attacks, but a lot faster and a lot damn harder, and he's also red colored. This part of the fight also gets really hectic. This part of the fight gets really frickin' hectic, and you'll have to be on your toes throughout the whole thing to break his tyranny down to size. But before you do, you guessed it, you'll have to fight his final giant form because Bowser always has a giant final form every flippin' time. Even in Mario Pinball Land, he had a final giant form. Anywho, this form slows down the fight from the last phase, and thankfully the guys at Toze fill up your health and mana between each phase. Thanks guys! The trick to the final phase is the same as it was in Super Mario World, if you can remember that far back. Bowser will use his claws to attack as long as an occasional impossible to predict giant fireball because of terrible perspective. He'll drop some spiky balls from the sky which are hard to dodge, and even throw a circle of hammers which gets a bit better. And then the attack of his undoing. He'll slam the ground and drop bob-ombs from the sky. You'll need to pick those up and use them to explode Bowser's face. Now, you'll have to time these damn things really well because their fuses are incredibly long in this game. It will take some practice, but you will get it eventually. Also, this is kind of a shadow weakness because Bowser doesn't have an obvious weak point in Phase 3. It's not as bad as some others, but could have been worked out better. And then there's the final part of the final phase. Bowser pulls out the Calm ability, and if you have 0 mana at this point in the game, you are completely fucked. You can keep trying, but in order to destroy his Calm ability, you need to break it with Rage brilliantly. If you can't do that, Bowser will ratchet back up to full health, and assumingly you do that again when he's back down to 1 HP. You can try to fight again and hope he doesn't pull it out again, but I can't give you the answer if it does or not because I died after that happened. This entire thing is a really long and really rewarding final boss experience. Usually a final boss can't be everything you want it to be, but when you throw every idea you have into a pan and broil it to perfection, you'll occasionally pull out something close to perfect. And that's honestly this game in a nutshell. It's unique, lighthearted, and an oddly better game than anyone could have predicted. Great showing by Toze and Nintendo for the DS. I'm super proud of you guys for this one.